Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. We bring you a special report on the escalating tensions in the Middle East, where the situation continues to spiral out of control. In recent days, a series of dramatic events has unfolded, including a claim of attack on an Israeli-linked vessel, a U.S. ultimatum to Iran, and a desperate search for a missing pilot. Tonight, we'll take you through the key developments and their implications for global security. We'll break down the latest from Washington and Tehran and explore the far-reaching consequences of this crisis. As the Middle East teeters on the brink of chaos, a familiar figure is calling for international intervention. But will his words be enough? The situation in the Strait of Hormuz has escalated significantly since the recent attacks on oil tankers. The U.S. has accused Iran of being responsible for these incidents and has taken steps to protect the waterway. The U.S. Navy has increased its presence in the area and has also begun to escort vessels through the strait. This move has been widely criticized as an attempt to exert dominance over the region and to undermine Iranian influence. The U.S. has also been involved in a series of military operations against Iran, including the bombing of Iranian military sites in 2018. This was part of a broader campaign of maximum pressure against the Iranian government, which was launched by the Trump administration in 2018. The goal of this campaign was to force Iran to abandon its nuclear program and to limit its influence in the region. However, the campaign has had the opposite effect. Iran has become increasingly hardened and isolated, and has begun to defy international pressure. The U.S. has also failed to achieve its goal of preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. Instead, Iran has continued to pursue its nuclear program and has made significant progress in recent years. The situation in the Strait of Hormuz is now at a critical juncture. The U.S. is trying to exert its influence over the region, but it is facing significant resistance from Iran. The region is already a hotbed of tension, and the situation could escalate further at any moment. The international community is watching the situation closely and is waiting to see how it will play out. We now turn to a developing story in the Middle East, where a major attack has been claimed by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. A recent incident in the Strait of Hormuz has raised tensions in the region, with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claiming responsibility for a targeted attack on an Israel-linked vessel. According to reports, the incident occurred on Tuesday, with the IRGC stating that it had intercepted a vessel carrying Israeli cargo. The vessel, reportedly a ship owned by the Israeli company Zim Integrated Shipping, was allegedly transporting goods bound for the United Arab Emirates. The IRGC said it had taken control of the vessel, which it claimed was carrying military equipment. The group's statement described the vessel as a terrorist target, sparking concerns about potential escalation in the region. The incident has been widely condemned by regional leaders, including Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. The attack on the vessel is seen as a significant escalation in tensions between Iran and Israel, with the IRGC's actions potentially violating international maritime law. The incident has also raised concerns about the safety of shipping vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for global trade. The United States has issued a statement urging calm and calling for restraint from all parties involved. The incident is also being closely watched by international authorities, with the United Nations Security Council being briefed on the situation. The incident highlights the ongoing tensions in the region, which have been exacerbated by recent conflicts in Yemen and Gaza. Following a tense standoff between the U.S. and Iran, President Donald Trump is now threatening to unleash devastating military action on the Iranian regime. The situation between the U.S. and Iran has taken a grave turn, with U.S. President Donald Trump issuing a dire warning to Iran. In a post on his social media platform Truth Social, Trump stated that Iran has 48 hours to open the Strait of Hormuz, threatening to unleash all hell on them if they fail to comply. This comes after Iran closed the vital waterway in response to the U.S.-Israeli attacks, leading to a significant spike in oil prices. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz has had far-reaching consequences, affecting global oil supplies and economies. The U.S. and Iran are now engaged in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, with the U.S. searching for a missing American service member who was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile. One of the two crew members on board the F-15 fighter jet has been rescued, but the whereabouts of the other pilot remain unknown. Iran is reportedly offering a substantial reward, up to £50,000, to anyone who can provide information leading to the safe return of the missing pilot. However, Trump's latest threat suggests that the U.S. is prepared to take drastic action if its demands are not met. The situation is tense, with both sides appearing to be locked in a standoff. The world watches with bated breath as the situation unfolds, with the potential for conflict looming large. The international community is holding its breath, waiting to see how this crisis will be resolved. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, a developing crisis is unfolding in the Gulf, with a U.S. pilot's disappearance and a warning from the president. The situation in the Middle East has taken a dramatic turn, with tensions escalating between the U.S. and Iran. The crisis began when a U.S. Navy pilot, identified as Lieutenant Michael Ryan, went missing in Iranian airspace on February 21st. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, claims to have combing an area near where the plane came down, but the pilot's status remains unknown. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning to Iran, stating that all hell will rain down on the country if it does not open the Strait of Hormuz by Monday. The strait is a critical shipping route that connects the Gulf of Oman to the Persian Gulf, and Iran's refusal to allow unfettered access has led to a significant increase in tensions. Trump's threat comes after he extended the deadline for Iran to open the strait by 10 days to April 6th. This move has been seen as an attempt to pressure Iran into compliance, and has been met with skepticism by some analysts. The situation has also raised concerns about the potential for conflict, with experts warning that any miscalculation could lead to catastrophic consequences. Russia has also been drawn into the crisis, with its state nuclear company Rosatom evacuating 198 staff members from the Bushehr nuclear power plant in Iran. The plant was reportedly targeted in an airstrike earlier today, and the evacuation is seen as a precautionary measure to ensure the safety of the staff. The situation remains fluid, with ongoing reports of military buildups and tensions between the U.S., Iran, and Russia. As the international community grapples with the escalating tensions in the Middle East, a small West African nation takes a significant step to distance itself. In a move aimed at cutting costs, the government of Senegal has banned all but essential foreign trips for government ministers in response to the escalating Iran war and its impact on global energy markets. The price of crude oil, which is a major component of Senegal's economy, has surged to nearly double its initial forecast of $62 per barrel. This sudden increase in oil prices has sent shockwaves through the country, affecting millions of households that rely heavily on petroleum products for their daily lives. The decision to limit foreign travel for government officials is part of a broader effort to reduce public expenditure, which is seen as a necessary measure to mitigate the economic fallout from the energy crisis. Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko has taken drastic measures to restrict government spending, including the cancellation of non-essential missions abroad. This move is part of a larger effort to conserve resources and minimize the economic impact of the rising fuel prices. The situation highlights the vulnerability of African countries, including Senegal, to global energy markets and supply disruptions. As many African nations rely heavily on imported petroleum products, they are often left exposed to price volatility and supply chain disruptions. The situation is particularly dire for millions of households that struggle to make ends meet, with soaring fuel prices exacerbating their already dire economic circumstances. The impact of the Iran war on global energy markets is far-reaching, and its effects will likely be felt for a long time to come. With tensions escalating in the Middle East, the White House has issued a stern warning to Iran as a 48-hour deadline looms over a critical waterway. President Trump has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to Iran, warning that if the country fails to meet Washington's demands, all hell will rain down on it. In a post on his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump stated that Iran has 48 hours to comply with U.S. demands or face severe consequences. This warning comes amid a heightened regional tensions, following the U.S. and Israel's joint offensive on Iran on February 28, which resulted in the deaths of over 1,340 people. The U.S. and Israel's military operation in Iran was met with retaliation from Tehran, which launched drone and missile strikes against Israel, Jordan, Iraq, and Gulf countries hosting U.S. military assets. Iran has also restricted the movement of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway for global oil supplies. This development has significant implications for the global economy, as the Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most critical shipping lanes. The United States has been engaged in nuclear negotiations with Iran, led by U.S. Special Envoy Robert Malley, in an effort to revive the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. Trump's extension of the negotiation deadline to 10 days was seen as a goodwill gesture when Iran sent him 10 Pakistani-flagged oil tankers. However, the current ultimatum suggests that Washington is losing patience with Tehran's refusal to meet its demands. The situation remains highly volatile, with the world watching anxiously to see how this crisis will unfold. And that, we'll leave you with the latest. Thank you for watching, and we appreciate your engagement. If you want to stay updated on the latest news, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Our team of journalists is here to bring you the most accurate and timely information. Until next time, we bid you farewell, and we look forward to serving you more news and analysis. Good night, and we'll be back soon.